Good evening, everyone. Welcome out to Okayama Circuit for the first road course race of the season here in the Street Stock Series with the DWRL. Now, we're getting the intro out of the way here pretty quick because the cars are already taking the grid, and I'm going to toss it over to my associate here so we can go over just exactly what we're looking at as far as track today.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Japan. As you can see, we got a little road course today. Here's a little look at the layout. We got 7 turns. Of those 7 turns, probably about 3 of those are very good passing points. That would be turn 1, turn 2, and turn 4. The rest of the track you gotta hold tight and maintain your position. Also got a tricky pit road entrance, and there will be some pit stops in this race. So that'll be interesting to see these cars get on a pit road with that tricky pit road entrance, and we'll be talking about that as the race goes on, I'm sure.
All right, let's take a quick look at the lineup as we get ready to roll on green flag laps here. In the front row, number 88, representing the Northwest Club, that is Anthony Guzman, and starting alongside him, the number 98, representing California, Layla Wilson for Local Dog Racing. Your full sitter is for Redline Racing. Back to the second row there, Philip Johansson all the way out from Sweden, and starting alongside him, the number 14, Candace Ford from Georgia. Back a row from there, the number 79, Matt Byrne from the Midwest, and Michael Denton from New York. And rounding out the field, Michi Rossini and Bob Gage, the 99 and 33 from England and Georgia, as well as the number 6, Arrow Malloy, back there on the back row. It looks like we're already going green flag, so we really flew through that one. Here we go.
Turn 1 is really critical on these road courses. A lot of stuff can happen as we're green.
Ooh, almost 3 wide there. You saw the 12-car Focus nose up in there. And a little bit of contact in the rear. That's 79. Matt Byrne making his first start. He got together with the 99. That is Michi Rossini, so it looks like everybody's going to be able to continue. No caution. The S's there, 88, 98, the top 2 at the moment. Got a little bit of passing action going on a little bit further back there. Looks like Michael Denton was trying to take a look at Candace Ford as we look back up towards the front as Wilson tries to work on the number 88. That's Guzman.
Coming down to this long, sweeping, fast right-hander here. It sets you up for the final turn. And really important to get off this final turn well, because that'll propel you down the straightaway. Got a long front straightaway here at Okayama. And here comes Layla Wilson taking a look on the inside of Anthony Guzman. Can't get it done. Anthony's going to lead lap 1.
Well, look at Candace Ford way down the track there. Not sure if she's trying to make a pass or trying to get out of the way for a pass, but now we have ourselves a race for the lead headed into this it's kind of a double corner here. Very, very critical part of the track because it also gets you a launch onto the back straightaway. Going side by side through here, not necessarily recommended.
Yeah, they pulled it off pretty well. Looks like Layla got the position on Anthony Guzman. Now Philip Johansson joining the mix.
Johansson's making a bid on the outside here, coming through one of the right-handers towards the end of the track. And yep, I kind of thought he'd get the rumble strip a little bit. He drove in there real deep. That's going to allow Denton to come up behind him. So now we've got ourselves kind of a 4-car dogfight for the lead.
Yeah, Johansson's from Finland. No stranger to these road courses.
Finland? I said Sweden, didn't I?
Sweden, Finland, same difference.
It's a long tow, even to Japan. That's the point.
I think you're right, he's from Sweden. But I digress.
He's fast, that's the point. He's up here.
And he likes these road courses.
Yeah, he's really got a handle on this car here. He's made some aggressive moves so far, as you can see him and Denton now battling. He's trying to get back up there by Guzman, but mostly it seems like he's also driving defensively here, trying to keep that 44 behind him. Look back a little bit further, Candace Ford, Arrow Malloy, Bob Gage, Michi Rossini, and Matt Byrne, all rounding out the field there at the moment.
The top 4 pretty evenly matched early in the race here.
It'll be a thing to see if these guys can hold on to these cars, guys and girls I should say, can hold on to these cars as the tires heat up And as the fuel load gets lighter, as you touched on earlier, there's probably going to be fuel stops in this race. So there'll also be a bit of strategy playing. Whoa! Looked like the 98 and the 88 both just got really loose there coming off of turn number 1. Both flew out into the dirt a little bit. That's going to allow the number 12, Johansson, to get up to second. He's trying to work the leader. Denton pulls up into third. Look at Johansson go. I think he's going to try and make a move here. Yep. Not quite ready that time, but he's definitely looking.
It's one of the passing points we talked about at the beginning of the race. Is we see Johansson get a little bit loose. It's going to allow the 44 to get by. That turn on the backstretch, off the backstretch, another good passing point here on the track. This part of the track you got to go single file through. It's really hard to make it pass through here. It's definitely a one-lane racetrack until you hit turn 1.
So Denton, who's been really smooth thus far, kind of just biding his time, waiting to find a hole, and so far so good on that one. He's up to second and now looking for the lead, and I've seen Wilson's getting a little loose out there, so we may be seeing Denton whoa! Locked the brakes up there going into 1.
Oh, you sure did. It's like you overdrove turn 1. It's really easy to do with these street stocks. Not the best handling cars. They're pretty heavy too, and they don't have a lot of not a lot of grip on these cars, not compared to some of the road cars we're used to seeing in iRacing. As you see, Anthony Guzman has gotten by Johansson for third place.
Well, look at the front ends of these cars tucked down under braking. I mean, the valence is literally scraping the ground as they just fly into these corners here. You really have to work the brakes. There's been a few corners where I've noticed drivers pumping either the brakes or sometimes even the throttle due to how loose they can get under acceleration. A lot of oversteer going on in these cars. You'd expect understeer as we watch the suspension here. I think this is Michael Denton's suspension. We'll find out here.
Yes, it is. He's going down the front stretch, so he's going to be going into turn 1. Just see some action here as he hits the brakes. There we go.
There's the front end dipping down like we were talking about. A lot of your weight transfers forward, and of course that's going to affect your handling. He did a good job not locking the brakes up there. We've seen a bit of that so far, even though we're only about 5 laps into this, as he hopped the berm there a little bit. And you can see there's some more berm there. We should be coming through the double right-hander, left-hander, and headed onto the backstretch right now.
These cars, the way they handle, you got to use every inch of racetrack. You'll see a lot of these drivers kicking up some dirt and getting on the berms. It's just a fast way around the track.
Definitely wild action here so far as the 44. Denton now takes a bid for the lead once again. These two drivers have kind of gapped themselves on third place Guzman, and Philip Johansson has fallen back and forth considerably behind Guzman. So might have seen him already burn off his tires. It's really easy to do on these road courses.
25 lap race here today. I don't think we've touched on this yet. Cars can get about 16 laps on fuel as we take a look at the back of the pack here. Michi Rossini coming through. About 16 laps on fuel if they stretch it. So that gives everyone a pretty large pit window. You can pit early and have an empty tank at the end of your run. Or you might see some guys try and stretch it out, lead a lap perhaps, get that bonus point. So be a lot of strategy once we hit pit road here. Should be we're on lap 6. Should be the earliest, probably about 3 or 4 more laps. Might start seeing some pit stops.
The other question mark is who's going to take tires and who isn't, of course, when they come in. A lot of drivers were saying these tires kind of fall off after a while. You lose about half a second, maybe a second, just trying to wrestle it around there, especially on the light fuel load when you can't plant the rear end. So some drivers may take tires, some may not, and just try to hold on to the cars, hope the heat cycles treat them well, but it's really hard to heat cycle tires when all you're doing is a pit stop and not getting any caution laps in. Yeah,
that's another factor too. I mean, you know, the less time you have on pit road, time is so valuable, especially at these road course races, that, you know, 2 seconds less time on pit road would get you 2 seconds on the racetrack, and as you can see here, that's a lot of time.
And I see Matt Byrne is starting to work his way up further into the field. Right now he is sitting 7th. He's gotten around Bob Gage though, so he may be sitting a lot higher than that. Looks like he's actually climbed up through most of this traffic while we were talking. Now that I'm looking at our scoring, which kind of helps when you're announcing.
Yeah, he was backwards lap 1 back there, so he's making a heck of a comeback already. can't see any lap times at the moment, but he's probably the fastest car on the track.
He started this race in 5th. He was one of the fastest in practice, so he may be the dark horse that we're looking for here late in this race. So right now, it's Wilson and Denton top 2, Guzman 3rd, and then Burnt all the way up into 4th. Bob Gage running really consistently in 5th, Candice Ford, Philip Johansson, and Errol Malloy, the top 8. Back from there, Rossini kind of struggling. I think he got some damage in that incident with Burnt on lap number 1.
Yeah, he did. He has some front end damage, left front damage on the 99.
You can see these cars oversteering a lot more as we get further into the run. As I was talking about, it has a lot to do with planting the rear end. If you can't plant it with enough weight in the fuel tank, you can kind of start sliding around out there. As you see, Wilson goes way off in the dirt. And then seems to just kind of be waiting for just the right opportunity. He's definitely there. He hasn't quite found it yet.
Yeah, if you can keep the tires a little bit cooler, they'll last longer and they feel a lot better. If you go hard for a lap, wear off those tires, you can really feel the difference. And kind of got to hang back and let him cool as the 44 got loose there. Looks like he's going to have to do what I just said. Looks like he got the tires kind of hot there. Taking a look on the inside of the 98.
Guzman's actually starting to reel these two in once again as they start to get sideways. Now he seems to be the smooth one, which Denton was earlier.
It's a long race too, 25 laps. Got to pace yourself, you know. Road courses, you definitely got to race the track more than the other drivers. So looks like the top 3 are doing that right now.
You can see when we're riding along the oversteer we're talking about, you can hear the tires start to squeal a little bit and actually see the front end kind of arc itself over to the right. This turn's notorious for that here, this final corner. So you can see very smooth, very gentle through there. Some drivers shifting down to 2nd, others staying in 3rd as they come through that corner. It seems a bit smoother to stay in 3rd, but in 2nd you can really get a good launch down the straightaway.
Yeah, and you can use the gears to dictate how fast you exit a corner. So especially with that last corner, you'll see guys jumping into 2nd gear because they know if they do that, they won't overdrive the turn. But then again, you'll have people in 3rd gear. You know, if you're hitting that turn in 3rd gear and you hit it right, you're going to be gaining some speed, but it's a big risk. So I think this early in the race, a lot of those guys are going to be opting for 2nd gear through there just to, you know, take care of the equipment, last to the end of the race.
Well, these top 3 have really tightened it up here as you see Wilson go wide again. Denton's just running his line.
If we'll see pit stops yet? Yes, we are.
Well, here we go. This ought to be interesting. This is really going to shake up the running order as well as the whole complexion of the race is really going to change here. You can see Wilson trying to run the pit road speed limit. I think Denton knows that it doesn't kick in until down here, so that mistake could cost her. As you see, the 88 also has snuck up there. Looks like Burnt stayed out, so he may be your leader this time at the stripe. And he is.
So what are they going to do? You're going to take tires? What would you do in this situation?
I'd definitely take tires. You're going to burn off your rear tires without all that fuel load in there when you're sliding around. So if I could just take rear tires, I'd probably do it. But in this case, you'd have to take all 4. And it looks like I saw the left sides go up on 2 of those cars. So I know they took left sides. You see the 98's taking right sides. Looks like the 44's taking a full load of fuel as the 99 comes in. He's going to get some repairs. He might be a factor later in this race now. As the 6 comes in as well. It's going to be Denton who wins the race off pit road. I don't think he took tires.
No, he did not take tires. I believe the 98 and 88 did. So, like we were saying earlier, gained a couple seconds on pit road, but like you said, as the race goes on, that might come back to hurt him.
Much different running order at the moment. Matt Burnt's your leader. Philip Johansson's in 2nd. Candice Ford up to 3rd, and then Bob Gage. I see Johansson's already heading into the pits here.
Still got a long window. Those top 3 came in at right at the opening of that first lap, that first window.
Burnt's in as well.
Yeah, they're going to be basically on fumes at the end of this race. It appears that all of them think that will be an advantage to them as the race goes on here.
Arrow Malloy getting some damage fixed up. He collected another car earlier, didn't quite get a look at that incident. As the 12th Johansson is in, I should say. Candace Ford, your leader. Bob Gage now sits second. Burnt was scored third at the line, but he's in the pits. You can see that lead pack going by out there. So that's going to move them up right behind Candace Ford. I think she is the lone car that has not pitted yet.
Yes.
I don't know if Bob Gage has.
Candace and Bob Gage, I believe, are still on the track. Yes, there's Bob. There's Candace. Candace and Bob are first and second right now. I assume Candace is going to dive in. She led her lap. And here she comes.
See if Bob stays out for an extra lap, gets himself a point.
Yeah, real tricky pit road there. You really got to slow the car down.
And these road course pit roads,
right. Yeah.
They really want you to remember you're at a racetrack. They're like, here, do some little S's before you go in there.
It's so true.
See, Ford might actually lead 2 laps here. If the stripe is where I think it is compared to her pit box, but I don't think it is, so she's probably not going to be the leader this lap.
Pit stripe's at the very end of pit road, so...
Okay, well that's probably going to mean she's only going to lead that 1 lap there. I see Malloy is still in there getting damage fixed. He must have really taken a nasty hit as the lead changes back to 2.
There you
New
go.
leader, Guzman.
Put it in gear and go.
Like the 2 leaders got together. Not going to pass judgment on that one until I see a replay, but as they try to battle back, Guzman just kind of sails on through there, and he's going to take the lead.
Yeah, nice recovery by both drivers who were involved in that. We'll have to take another look at that. I couldn't really see from that angle.
See a black car coming up behind them. I believe that's Matt Byrne, too, so that may have played to his advantage as well.
I don't think there appears to be any damage on the 44.
Both cars look good. They got a lot of work to do, though, to catch up to that number 88. He took 4 tires, as did the 98. 44 Denton, again, took none, as the 88 Guzman goes a little bit off the track there.
Yeah, it's a bad situation for the 44 since he's on old rubber. Before he did have the track position, now he's got to try and make it up. And that's going to be really hard to do with when you're racing guys with really fresh tires.
It's like you said earlier, getting into turn 1 is really difficult as we take a look at the replay here. Let's get an idea of what happened here. This is just a couple laps ago. Looked like she locked up both tires, had the she was gearing down, just went way too deep into that corner.
And we saw the 44 do the same thing a couple laps prior. So let's just take a listen on this one. Just a very light contact, if any.
You could hear him roll back into the throttle to try and save it. It was just long gone.
Can't really tell from that angle either.
Looked like he might have been able to cruise to a win before that happened. Everything had played out just like I think he had it planned there for the pit stops. He had the lead, and here he is sitting third. I can see Malloy limping back onto the track as we go back to live footage. 88, Guzman, still your leader. Now he's going to have to find a way around Malloy, who I believe is 3 or 4 laps down at this point.
Turn 1's a real tricky turn here. Actually, in probably all of road racing, it's very interesting because you hit the apex basically when you start braking. And, when you're finished braking, and then you have to kind of accelerate through the longer part of the corner, and it's kind of tricky to get used to. It's a fine line, you can take it too slow and lose time. You can overdrive it and get off in the dirt on the left-hand side of the park there. So a lot of issues arise in that turn 1, especially when you're racing with other people as well.
Comes Guzman off the final corner here as we're within 10 laps to go when he hits the stripe. So 88, 98, 44, and 79. Matt Byrne working his way up through that field there. He has really had a consistent day even after that spin on lap 1. Matter of fact, he's trying to make a bid for third here. on Denton, who's still trying to get around there on that old rubber. I think he may be the only driver that didn't change 4 tires, or at least 2. Got another one off in the grass. That looks like Malloy. Yeah, that car is just shot. You can see the front end. Looks like it's been through a trash compactor there.
It's kind of racing. You either, especially for us oval guys, either love it or hate it. It's totally a take it or leave it thing. The 44 really enjoys it. Guzman's had a lot of experience doing this stuff in real life. Layla's got some real racing experience. Yeah, it's all, they'll all tell you something different. Either they don't like it or they're big fans of it.
A few drivers definitely had this one marked on their calendar. This was the race they wanted to win. And a few drivers had it marked on their calendar because they're going to go on vacation this week. There's a couple regular faces not with us in this particular event.
The 44, Michael Denton, really wanted to win this race. He feels he can deliver every time when we go to the road courses. So
well,
I know he was one of
those
guys who, marked this race on the calendar when the schedule came out for sure.
You see, he has just taken second back from Wilson as Burnt comes up behind her. So now we got ourselves a kind of a 3-car battle here for second. That old rubber, it's really starting to pay off for him. The 4-tire thing, it may have given the other drivers a couple fast laps, but it really seems like the playing field has evened itself back out again as Burnt takes a look for third. Seems like Wilson's car is fading just a little bit.
Yeah, without the 44 taking tires there, he's in a really difficult spot because right now he can see Guzman, and he's got to go, but at the same time, he's got older tires that are all heated up and greasy, and he's really got to take care of those, make sure they don't get too hot, but at the same time be as fast as he can. So a lot of fine lines there, a lot of fine lines intersecting other lines.
We got ourselves 2 wide through those S's again, 98-79. That's Burnt and Wilson down the backstretch. She's really got to get the whole shot to get in front of him here in the left-hander.
Layla gave him a lot of room.
They both got a little bit sideways there in the back. Looks like she's going to come out the spot for the time being, but boy, Burnt is just right there all over, definitely not giving anything up. We may have ourselves a battle for third place yet again by the time we head into turn 1 as they both go off in the dirt.
He's like Godzilla the way he's cutting through this traffic.
Yeah. It's a bit of a... It should be the pass on the 98 by the 44. As you can see, she just locked him up going into 1 yet again. Got in the dirt. And as they head down there, she really didn't have enough speed to get in front of him, so on he goes.
Turn 1 could be a killer.
It really can. It's like you said, that apex is so weird. No matter which version of this course you run, the long or the short, it's definitely not an easy turn to get around every lap.
In this section through here that the leaders are coming out of, yeah, very difficult to make any kind of moves through there. So you just gotta hang on and hope you get a big run off this last turn here, and get a big run and try and pull on the inside and get up there for turn 1. Easier said than done, but that's really the way you want to play it here.
So Denton closing the gap on Guzman. You can really see he is physically reeling him in right now as they work through the first set of S's onto the back chute. At interval very slowly beginning to close. It looks like Guzman's in conservation mode.
Yeah, I know that 44 car wants this race. His hero growing up was Ricky Rudd, and Rudd always performed well in the road courses, and Mike basically spent a lot of time as a child studying how he did it and just admiring what he did on the track, how he could be fast and smooth at the same time. And that's what he tries to emulate when he races.
He's really got that going at the moment. I mean, look at the gap now between second and third. Look at the closing gap between second and first. He is on a tear right now. You see the front end dip down. very smoothly through the corner there. And here's this battle for third. Burnt still all over Wilson. She can't seem to shake him, and he can't seem to get by. She goes completely sideways into one, somehow reels it back in, but Burnt is going to take that spot. Lap's definitely winding down here. It's going to be, I believe we're on 5 to go right now. So Guzman continues to lead, but Denton really just rocking it as he catches up. And this battle for third continues on. Matt Burnt currently holds it, but Layla Wilson all over him trying to get it back. Don't know if that's going to happen, though. She is all over the place, and now he's looking pretty smooth up there. Should be 4 to go at the stripe. Wow, I'll just stop counting now.
Got 3 to go.
Corrected by the spotters. At least somebody knows what's going on in this race. It looked like Burnt got sideways on the straightaway. He pulls back up into the optimal line. That's not necessarily a good thing for him.
Haven't seen that pace car too much today. Yellow flags are on. Haven't had any major incidents.
Candace Ford currently rounds out the top 5. There's Bob Gage in 6th, and Errol Malloy currently behind him on the track, but not so much in laps. I don't believe Philip Johansson is still in this event either. I see he's dropped way off the scoring. Whoa, look at Rossini. The Englishman getting a little agricultural racing in there off the final corner.
But Arrow's car is all beat up.
And Rossini's car doesn't look too good either, so we got a couple of cars just kind of limping around out there trying to do what they can.
I think Arrow went off in the horseshoes a couple laps ago. That's where you got that damage. Nothing worthy of bringing out a yellow, though. Just a quick little spin, got going. Yellow this late in the race would really mix things up.
Yeah, I think a few drivers are hoping for that. As Burnt goes off in the dirt this time, he was running third, tries to hold on to it. Wilson is now caught back up, and as they head in here, he has to give way. Just didn't quite have enough speed to get in front of her. And even though she's completely sideways, she's going to take that third spot back. So now headed down into this difficult uphill left-hander. She's trying to hold the spot. You can see the back end kicking out again. The 79 Burnt very smooth through there still. And she's going to go a bit wide here in that right-hander, that kind of 180-degree turn.
And with these tires wearing down, you can really see, of course, a lot of these guys are going to be at the end of their pit runs and tire runs. So you'll be seeing a lot of sliding.
It is white flag there. As the race for third rages on. The leaders are getting a bit closer, but they're side by side for third at the stripe. And Burnt looking to the inside, turn 1. Wilson tries to hold the outside, almost goes up in the dirt, slides back down the track. Here we go again, down to the inside. She tries it in the double right-hander. Nothing doing there as your leaders are getting even closer together. They're coming up behind the 99 Rossini, who's a teammate to the leader. Don't know if that's going to factor in, but Rossini's off in the dirt.
I don't want to jinx anything here, but these guys are going to be really short on fuel the way they pitted, so...
Yeah,
I mean,
they are.
They could probably almost coast from this point, but it's going to be real tight.
Going to have to see who saved more fuel. I'd imagine the 44 did, as he's been really smooth around here. 88's really been gunning it, and this is going to be at the final run to the checkered flag here. Don't know if we're running on fumes or not. Looks like the throttle is wide open as he comes down the straightaway, though. Not quite as fast as he normally crosses the line when he took the checkers, but it was enough to get the job done.
Looked like the 44 was running out of gas in the last lap, too. Got way off the pace after the second. There goes Mishi.
And he found his way off the track there. It looks like the 98 Wilson actually came out third there. We see Burnt in front of her afterwards. We'll have to go back and check that finish, but scoring does say she came home with third. Burnt coming home fourth. Candace Ford, Bob Gage rounding out the top 6. And a lot of cars just took a beating further down the field, and we'll go over those in a minute.
Looks like they're giving it back to the 79 now, so we'll put Layla back to fourth.
Gotta love those close finishes where when it has to go upstairs, you know you had a good race.
Christian Rossini, Earl Malloy, and Philip Johansson in 8th place. Must have had some kind of technical issues there. He had a strong run early.
Strong, yeah. He was really fast, really aggressive too. Made some moves that can kind of make your hair stand on end there. There's the congratulatory bumps for Guzman. Came in with a good, clean race.
Yeah. Yeah, Quick did everything right today. Just didn't get mixed up in anything he had to, and saw an opportunity and pounced on it. Made the right moves in pit road, and yeah, pretty much a flawless victory.
Mortal Kombat there, flawless victory.
We also had Mortal Kombat too in turn 1 a couple times.
Yeah, we did.
Had a bit of everything today.
So it looks like next week we're getting ready to head off to Phoenix, if I have that correct.
Yes.
That should be interesting. The only big track on the schedule, as you know, these are short track cars, so the road course was also a bit of an oddity. That should be another oddity. Then we're going to head to the inside track at Irwindale Speedway, outside track at Irwindale Speedway. Following that, we're going to head to New Smyrna for a night race, and then double header at Langley to finish off the season, day race and night race on the same evening. So that should be a very interesting way to finish off the season. Congratulations to your winner today, Anthony Guzman, in the number 88. That is pretty much going to be it for us from Japan. So now we got to go all the way back around the world to the U.S. We'll be seeing you next week from Phoenix.
See you in Arizona.